Hi, I'm Ferre with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Swenson, and this is one of our Property Deal of the Week videos where we look at different tax sales that have happened recently and some of the results from those tax sales. So this particular property we're going to be looking at is from one of the New York tax deed auctions.
Yeah, definitely. So with this property, we can see that it's a manufactured home. We've got an addition onto it along with the garage. They ended up paying up for it at $89,000, and we'll look a little bit into it and see, is this a good deal? Did they overpay? And look at some of the details on the property.
Yeah, so at 90,000, they did pay quite a bit here for it. They estimate the full market value here at 148, and so that's really more of an assessment. We see it's sitting on a 0.63 acre of a lot. It does look like it's kind of like a double wide or a manufactured home. And I can't tell if that's just a skirting around it or if it's sitting on a foundation or not. I can't tell.
Yeah, either way, included as real property. I think it's a foundation.
Yeah, it does look like it's a foundation, especially with the way that addition is on just the one side or the one part there, the front. Essentially for like a new room. Looks like they built it out there. And so, yeah, I think it looks like it's built on a foundation. There's also an additional outbuilding on it as well.
Yeah, well, and when we're looking at it, we're going to be looking at things like the roof, looking for things like the windows, anything on the outside. I mean, in this case where we don't have interior photos, we really do need to judge the book by the cover. So we're going to be looking at the outside. We can see that there's an additional garage and then a smaller building. I don't know if that is a shed there at the very bottom right-hand corner, or if that's like a little house, probably a shed, but it looks like it was built, and then we can see the garage as well.
Yeah, it looks like it was well done. I mean, it's got windows and a full-size door on it and a roof. And so, yeah, I'd be interested to know what that is as well. It does look like a separate building, to what these are that we're seeing, this other building, this other garage. That's interesting. It looks like it has a wider door than that too. Like that's a narrower door they put on it.
Yeah. You can see that there's some things that need to be done, but when we're looking at the yard looks clean. Even though there's work that needs to be done, everything looks pretty clean.
Oh, it's a nice location on it. Kind of, you can see it looks like it's all sitting there, a nice piece of open ground and water.
Yeah, well, and it's located kind of in an area of town. You can see the subdivision right there to the right have newer, more expensive homes. So it's really kind of where a few of these properties in New York we've looked at recently, they're kind of the cheapest home in a nicer area. And we've mentioned several times before that we'd rather be the cheaper home in a nicer area than the nicest home in a cheaper area. And so overall, they ended up paying about 89,000 for it. Redfin estimates it about 208. So there's a potential profit of about 154,000. So they did pay up for it, but there is some profit margin there, in buying this property at this price.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, just looking at the comps there around it, those properties all have, tremendously high values. 547, 374, 439, 461. I mean, they're all in the 500s or 400s, except for this property. So it would probably be a good candidate for this type of deal. And yeah, opened up there for $100, sold for 89,000, but that still was about 42% of market. That was what they paid for it. And at that price point, there's still a lot of profitability in it and something that they should be able to make work. So, 1991, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's valued at what are we estimating at there?
They ended up paying about 42 cents on the dollar, I believe. So they ended up paying up for it. But, as far as that estimated value, that's just a quick evaluation. If it, let's say we're estimating at 208, and if it's actually worth, 240 or 250, then that drops it down. So we would probably say 35 cents on the dollar. Maybe if we did a good on-site evaluation, maybe we're going up to 40 cents on the dollar, but we'll probably stay around 35 cents on the dollar. But that's based off of the price being just a quick estimate of what Zillow has, if it's or what Redfin has. If it's higher than that after we do our comparative market analysis, then we're going to take that into account. If it's lower than that, then we're going to take that into account. But just based on that, we can see why, based on the condition, based on the upkeep, that the investor was willing to pay a little bit higher to have that, home located surrounded by $400,000 other properties.
Yeah, I think the value of the properties around it are really such a big part of that. It does tell you that, that you could fix this property up and get more money for it because the neighborhood could call for it. It's you can get a higher price out of it if you can just make it desirable to buyers. And that's all you would really need to do is just make it a little bit more desirable to buyers and modernize it, make it look like it's new. And I don't think you'd have a problem at all selling it. So yeah, very cool property. And even at that price point, I think they'll do really well and make good money on it.
Yeah. I mean, if we can do one of these type of properties, these homes that are valued, $200,000, $250,000, if we can make, after everything's said and done, 100 grand on them, that's going to be a pretty overall good deal. When we're talking about nicer properties, you're not going to be able to get them for 10 cents on the dollar. Usually the nicest homes, or the nice homes that we would go after, probably sell between 25 cents on the dollar at the very lowest end up towards about 40 cents on the dollar. We can get land sometimes cheaper than that. We've seen real expensive land sell for 10 cents on the dollar, 15 cents on the dollar. But if we're talking about nice homes, newer homes, we're generally going to pay between 25 cents to 40 cents on the dollar. And so taking into account that, they could make 100 grand on this home, it would be a pretty good flip where we could turn around, go through quiet title, or sell it, offering title insurance for a quicker sell. It all depends on the strategy, but I think there's enough cushion there that they could still do well with it.
We'll be checking out more properties here, so keep an eye out for those videos. Thanks so much.